On our recent Midwest barbecue road trip, Ethan and I got a behind-the-scenes tour of the legendary Southern Pride Smokers organization. If you want to see how the barbecue pits are made that you find in many of the barbecue restaurants across the United States, you're going to love this video. I'm David Gafford, and usually I'm the one in front of the camera, but today it's my son Ethan who's getting the tour and asking the questions. If you enjoy your tour guide, be sure to show Ethan some love by hitting the like button and leaving him a comment down below.
We're here at Southern Pride Smokers, and we're about to learn about them today. Hello, I'm Ethan.
Hi Ethan, I'm Jared. Pleasure to meet you.
How did Southern Pride get started?
These two gentlemen right here are my father and grandfather. They bought a empty restaurant in Decatur, Illinois back in the early 70s and went and found an offset smoker that was off-site. They purchased it and brought it to the restaurant. They were spending all their time hovering over the pit at night, shuffling the product around, adding wood, kind of basically having to maintain the temperature. Unintentionally, they started kind of monkeying with that smoker and started to build in automation, so it allowed them to not have to stand over the pit all night. After working on that for quite some time, they thought that, hey, this is working well for us, maybe this is something we could do for others. So they designed their first smoker and went out to try to sell it. And they sold 6 the first year and 13 the next year, and we've been in business ever since.
So what was that first smoker look like?
Sure, I happen to have a picture of it. It was an offset smoker that somebody else had been using, and they came across it. I don't know the details to all that, but this is essentially what got them started in being able to prepare barbecue.
I see this one's squared, but this one's round. Can you show me how that kind of turned out?
Sure. So once they figured out how to automate the temperature in this one, they wanted to be able to duplicate that. So they actually started manufacturing their own, which we have over there. So this one's from Ewald's Barbecue. It was put into service in 1977, and it was still in operation all the way up until 2018 when they bought a new smoker. But this is basically the first design that came to fruition. And the concept hasn't really changed throughout time. We've got a firebox. It still has the ashes in it from the last time Ewald's cooked in it.
That is cool.
And that's where your heat source comes from. You have a gas burner there that provides the heat that burns the wood and also provides temperature to the cooking chamber. And then all that heat and smoke escapes through holes in the side of the firebox into the cooking chamber. This is a rotisserie that once you load up all the product and you turn it on, the temperature comes on and it's self-based, so you really don't have to come back to the smoker until the product's finished, which was really what they were looking for.
This one's round, but most of those are squared, so what happened with that?
Sure, so this one was very hard to build. It was hard to manufacture as far as cutting the end off the barrel, inserting another barrel, and doing all the things to give it the attributes that what our smokers have today. So they started welding up their own box from scratch with mild steel and angle iron, and then they would put insulation on it and then sheet it, and it evolved into essentially what we have today.
Can you show me some of the ones that you have today?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So we'll start with these. These are electric smokers. They're on the smaller capacity. They take wood chips to provide the smoke in the cabinet.
That's really neat.
Yeah, these are great because they're small and don't require a lot of kitchen space, and they're easy to get installed and ventilated. And they're also very simple to operate. You just put your product in there. Once you've seasoned it, you put a few wood chips in the smoker element, and you turn on the power and the smoke element and set the temperature, and then you're good until the product's finished. And then a little larger is the SC300. Same thing, just bigger cabinet, and this is 208 volt instead of 110. And same thing, you just put wood chips in the bottom. Once you season your product, you turn it on, and it takes care of the rest.
This is a really cool wrap. I love it. Can you show me how it works?
Sure. This is the SPX 300. It means it'll hold about 300 pounds of pork in one cook cycle. So you open up the doors to load your product on these different racks. And once you get them seasoned and loaded, and you turn it all on, the racks, they rotate so it's a self-basing system. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and the great thing about this one is how easy it is to use. You simply set your cook temperature It goes anywhere between 140 and 325, depending on if you're cooking like ribs and chicken at a higher temperature or pork butts and brisket overnight at a lower temperature. So you set your cook temp. We'll just say 240 is good. We want to set our cook time, 3 hours at 240 with baby back ribs, and they come out perfect. You can also set a hold cycle to where once that 3 hours is expired, it'll bring the temperature down without overcooking your product. And then you just hit start, and that's it. That's all you got to do. Come back when the product's finished.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Can I use the switch to make it turn?
Sure. Just step on it, and it'll start to advance the racks to where you have both hands free to be able to pick up and to load and unload product.
Oh, this is actually really convenient, so then you don't have a switch and you have to do one-handed.
That's exactly right.
So you can stop it, put stuff on, right?
Yep. You got it. And just like that, you're a pit master.
Yeah.
This was pretty neat. We've also got a couple other gas smokers that are stationary rack that I'll be happy to show you.
Okay.
So this one's a stationary rack smoker. We took the rotisserie out in order to be able to consolidate the amount of space it takes in kitchens. So it performs the same way as the gas. You put a wood log or two in the firebox, you season your product, you turn it on, and you're good for the duration.
So what can you put in here?
You can cook any protein, chicken, ribs, pork butts, brisket. You can cook steaks, really any protein you want, but people also cook like baked beans. You can roast corn in these. Basically anytime you're needing to apply temperature to uncooked product, you can use this as an oven or a smoker.
Could you use bacon in it?
You can absolutely cook bacon in it. That's actually one of the favorite things we do to test the airflow. So we sometimes sabotage that so we get to just eat more bacon.
I see this one, but that one looks a lot much more bigger behind you. So what's the difference between this and that?
Sure. This one will do about 400 pounds of pork in one cook cycle, and we've had it available for about 10 or 12 years. This one we're just now introducing, and it'll do up to 800 pounds of pork in one cook cycle. So we basically took the same concept and just made it bigger.
So on this one, you can fit a lot much more bacon.
A whole lot more bacon. That's exactly right. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Same thing though, you just season the product, set it in there, and this one I can actually turn on for you.
Okay.
The controls are set up the same, where you set your time and temperature. I've got that already entered. And then once you have those two set up, you just hit start. The fan comes on to circulate the heat and smoke.
Whoa.
And that's where you put your wood. And if you leave the wood out, then it's just a roasting oven. That's what gives you the versatility in the different products you can cook.
So you could use this even if you don't have one?
Correct. Yeah, you can roast prime rib or smoke prime rib. Same with chicken. If you don't want to put smoke on something, you just leave the wood out and then it's a roasting oven. Some things you have to have wood with, like brisket, pork, and ribs, you have to have wood, but there's a lot of other items that turkeys you can smoke or not smoke. There's plenty of things that you don't absolutely have to use wood.
I'm really interested how you guys built this. So can we go see how you guys build this?
Absolutely. We do all the manufacturing ourselves. I'll be happy to show you where it all happens. So Ethan, all of our steel comes in through this door right here. We store it on these shelves right as you come in, and when an order comes out, we take it over to the laser and start the cutting process where the whole thing starts. This is an Amada laser, and this is essentially the Southern Pride for our operation. This is where it all begins, and if this unit's down, we're out of business.
Oh. Do you know how hot that laser gets at all?
Hotter than the surface of the sun, I believe.
So you don't want to be in it.
You don't want to touch it, that's for sure. Yep.
So what happens after the steel is cut and all that?
After the steel's cut, it's unloaded, and then it goes to our press brakes to be folded. So once the steel's cut, we bring it to our press brake. This one's an up-acting press brake for the safety of our employees. That way nothing moves without the operator knowing what's going on. So anything that needs to be folded comes to this station, and Brad's doing a great job of taking great detail into everything he does, and he's folding up what looks like the end of some fireboxes.
Then what happens after this is done?
So once the parts are folded, they'll either be ready to go out to the assembly line, or they'll have to stop in the welding department to have some welds put on them. I'll be happy to show you that next. So after everything's folded and it's ready to come to the welding department, we start that process here. Looks like right now we're welding the trailer that our smokers are capable of being mounted to for mobile applications and being able to move them around. And basically they'll get that all welded up and then it'll be ready to go to the paint booth.
This area looks like the welding department.
It sure is. This is the last step in the process before all the components are ready to be assembled. In this particular workstation, we do a lot of the smaller sub-assemblies like the hanger racks and the things that go inside the smoker. We use Miller welders. They're auto feed welders that are relatively easy to operate. You just have to know to be able to set the speed and the temperature. The rest of it's pretty simple. You just point and shoot.
So what is this exactly?
These are the base pans for our rotisserie smokers. This is essentially where the bottom structure, it all starts, and then we build up a frame all around it. But it's very important that we have solid welds all the way through, not only for the durability, but to make sure that no grease leaks out onto the floor into a kitchen.
This looks a lot different from the base pan.
Sure. Well, Neil's already taken the base pan and he put in all of the inner liners. He put in each of those panels. He riveted them in, and then he was able to go ahead and insulate it and sheet it and wire it and start to add the components that actually make the whole thing work.
This looks pretty complex. How does this work?
Well, once you have the product loaded in the wood in your firebox and you turn it on, this is basically everything that controls what goes on in the smoker. You've got a convection fan that comes on that helps propel the heat and smoke throughout the cooking chamber for evenness. You have the drive system that allows the rotisserie inside to advance. And then you have the burner that gives you your heat source. And it's all in one convenient service bay to not only assemble, but to service in the field. All of our smokers are stainless steel inside and out, but there's a few components that either need to be very thick gauge or need to be painted. And that's what this group of parts are. These are leg gussets that go on the bottom of the smoker. You can see how thick the gauge is. They've all been welded together and they're ready for paint. So all this stuff will be rolled into our paint booth. Our painter will spray them, and then we actually have a heater that allows us to speed up the drying process.
Is this how it's going to show up at my house?
Pretty close to it. Once all the smokers are assembled, they go through a quality control process that we high pot them first to make sure there's no electrical leakage. And then we turn them on and make sure that everything works in concert, that once the program's set and we turn it on, the rotisserie advances, the fan comes on, the burner comes on, and that the temperature's calibrated to the right set point. After that, we load them, anything that goes with it, we load inside, we wipe them down, and then we wrap them, and they're pretty much ready for shipping. So, yeah.
I just have one more question.
Sure.
What would this work?
We have an operations manual that comes with all of our smokers we put in there, as well as a sample of seasoning, maybe some stickers, and the warranty registration all goes in that box.
Stickers? I like stickers. Are all these ready to get shipped?
They sure are. Everything that's wrapped means it's ready to go. Depending on what the customer's needs are and the size of the smoker, they'll either be shipped like common carrier with a lift gate. For the larger ones, we have dedicated curbside delivery that they basically bring it straight from here to the end user and roll it off right when they get to the customer.
I want to say a special thank you to both Jared and Heather at Southern Pride for opening their doors to us. I loved being able to see firsthand how the smokers I see in catering and restaurants are created from scratch right here in the good old USA. If you want to learn more about Southern Pride, I'll leave a link in the description below where you can find out more. I'm David Gafford from the Barbecue Lab. Your tour guide today was Ethan. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.